Hello guys and welcome back. My name is MoXP and today I'm going to share 5 more tips for beginners. In this video we're going to focus more on exploration. Exploration is one of the main part of Starsector. It is fun and the first tip is something that's extremely crucial, which is the fuel range. So if you are in any system whatsoever, you can press the tab button to get your system map and then Q to get your sectors map, and from here you can kind of see the range. If this is already on by default for you, great. If it's not, you can press 2 on your keyboard, or you could go down here. You can see the fuel range. You can toggle on and off. Mine is pretty massive, by the way, because I have 2 Prometheus tankers, and yeah, that is the reason why mine is that massive. But this inner layer is pretty much round trip, so you can go as far as this and come back without a need to refuel, which means you're good. The outer layer is a bit more finicky. It can be managed depending on what you do, depending on certain ships. Are you going to mothball it? Are you going to scrap some ships? So it can be managed, but that means that outer layer means that there's a good chance that you might not be able to make it back if you go that far. Tip number 2 is about which skill you should be using for exploration. The first one that I always go for, and I think it is a must no matter the playthrough, is navigation. I think most experienced players always take the skill. Now when they take it, that depends, and the reason why is because of the negative 30% terrain movement penalty from all applicable terrain. So that helps you not be so affected by certain terrain issues, things that will slow you down too much. But it also has the magnificent +1 to maximum burn level. That is great because if you have some cargo ships or some capital ships in the game that are very slow, having that +1 is great, not only to outrun certain threat but also to catch up to potential victims. And on top of that, you get the transverse jump with this skill, which is a great skill to have in case you want to up out of a certain system. You're definitely going to need that just in case. Now I always go for the sensor skill as well because of the negative 25% to my sensor profile. So the negative 25% detected at range, that is a negative 25% to your sensor profile. Your profile is how big of a noise you're making, how far can people detect you pretty much, and the +25% to your sensor range. The +3 to burn level at which the fleet is considered to be moving slowly. That is a finicky one. It's a bit complicated because you're not always going to need it. It's very, let's just say it doesn't happen often that your fleet needs that. And the reason why is because it says a fleet is considered to be slow moving at a burn level of half that of its slowest ship. When we're talking burn level, for example, you can have a capital ship that has a burn level of maybe, let's say 7. I think the lowest one is 7. Half of that would be 3.5. So yeah, there might be time where it's really bad, but that is at a certain point of the game. Let's just say that. I don't want to spoil it for you. Now, other skills that I think are a must are more on the industry side of the skill. Bulk transport for increased cargo capacity, increased fuel capacity, increased personnel capacity. Then we have salvaging for increased salvaging, pause and read all that. Field repair, it can be great because of the fact that recovery ship, you will have less damage to repair from them. Then again, you could do something else that I'm going to show you, which is very simple. I'll go ahead and skip all of that and go straight to makeshift equipment because of the negative 50% to required supplies and machinery to survey a planet. Obviously, there's also the reduction to your monthly supply consumption. And the last one, which I mean, it's not really needed, it is the hull restoration. It restores your whole fleet depending on how many D-mods you have on them. It restores them over time. So those are the main one that I would advise a beginner to take. From there, you can play around with whatever you want. There are so many other things you can go for, so it would depend on what kind of fleet you have. But then again, we're going to talk a little bit about fleet composition in a bit. Tip number 3 is when you scavenge a ship that is broken and you do not have the time or the supply to take care of it. Always get into the habit of going over a ship. So press F to pull up your fleet, then hover over the ship and press G to suspend repair. And the reason why is because when you're out there, supply and fuel is very crucial, especially supply. So that's just a quick reminder to do that. Let's go and jump right away to tip number 4. And that is also a quick reminder that when you're in the storm or when you're coming near a storm, you can go ahead and just hold S, slowly go through it without having to take any damage. That way you're saving fuel, you're saving supplies. And if you do not do that, it can be dangerous because of the fact that not only that storm is going to throw you out of your trajectory, but it's also going to damage your ships. And if you get caught by an enemy fleet while you just came out of one of those storms, you will have a hard time. Your ships are damaged, you're not ready, you're running out of supply, and now you have to fight something. Now obviously in the late game, when you are doing very good, you don't have to worry about it. At times actually I use it as a way to speed up my travel to a location, right? If I'm going somewhere and I just want to speed it up, I use the storm to kind of just do that. Or you could use it as well to run away from a threat. That is also possible. It's just going to cost you a lot of fuel and supplies, but then again, if the threat is going to demolish your whole fleet anyways, the fuel and supplies is more than a fair, if not even a good price to pay for that. So now we're at tip number 5. And I feel like tip number 5 shouldn't really be on this list, but some people might not know this. It is to do the Galathea missions, the academy missions. And the reason why I'm saying that is because in case somebody's new, they don't know, those missions are great not only because they pay you very well. On top of that, they give you some missions that are in the outer sector, and these missions don't have any time to them. There's no rush to do these missions, and they're great. So what I usually do, I grab a bunch of these missions, whatever is in the core sector that has like a time sensitive thing to it. I try to do those. So like the escort mission, for example, those I do them right away. But the one on the outer sector, those are fine. You could just leave them there. Whenever you get there, you could do them and they pay you well. That's the reason why you should do them. Not only that, they end up being pretty much the story mode of Starsector. You also get a ton of lore and an amazing ship, if not the most broken ship in Starsector at the end. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I highly recommend you to go ahead and give it a try. So now let's talk about your fleet composition. Ideally, you could do whatever you want, but if you're a new player, there are certain things that you could use to your advantage. So one of the best things you can do in your exploration fleet is to always have at least 2 salvage rigs. Ignore what I've done here. You should never S-mod a militarized subsystem on your salvage rig, because the negation or to negate the crew increase requirement is useless on a salvage rig, because a salvage rig only has, I believe about 16 crew on it. The increased crew requirement on it is useless, so that's a waste of an S-mod. So learn from a mistake. If you're new, this is a bonus tip for you. So for the salvage rig, the reason why you want to have it, it's because it has the salvage gantry. Now the salvage gantry is a bit annoying because of the diminishing return. So the more you add, the less you gain per ship that has it. In this case, I'm at 44%. Ideally, I want to be at 50%, but then again, it's not that crazy because of the fact that, as it states here, it only affects recovery of common resources such as fuel and supplies, and not the rare item like blueprint. But when you're out there and supply and fuel is so important, it's always great to have that. On top of that, you get an additional 20% bonus to your post-battle salvage. What you would ideally do on this one is put the serving equipment. I think you should S-mod it to reduce the serving cost even further. And you want to add high resolution sensor. Obviously, there are other things you can do. You can put an insulated engine assembly on it. It's up to you, but ideally I go for the more sensor range because I want to find things fast. I don't want to be roaming around in the system wasting my time. It's a waste of fuel, it's a waste of supplies. I just want to get it done. So that is why I put the salvage rig in my fleet. Ideally 2 minimum. 3 is as far as you want to go. More than that, you're just wasting space that could be used to other ships to protect yourself or to carry more stuff. The second ship that I never really liked before, but I am actually starting to like this ship the more I use it, is the Apogee. Mine is pretty beat up. I cannot restore it because I'm not at a station. The reason why you want to go for the Apogee is because of the 2 built-in Hullmods here. You have the high resolution sensor and the serving equipment, and those are the 2 Hullmods that are extremely important. I was going to do a section for Hullmods, but honestly these ships already kind of give us an idea of what kind of hull mods we want. The main one, high resolution sensor and survey equipment. There are other stuff you can use, but to be honest, it is up to you. There are certain things like insulated engine, maybe increased fuel capacity, increased cargo capacity. It is up to you, but these are crucial. But the Apogee also can defend itself. It can fight, and it's not a weak ship. Yeah, it looks weak, but if you do things well, this ship can do some damage. As you can see here, I just put some stuff together. This is not really an end game stuff. I just slapped some stuff together and I'm just want to go out and explore. I haven't even restored this ship, so don't look at this like this is the end all be all. This is actually this is pretty much the default thing. This ship is going to be a great assist ship. It's not going to do a crazy amount of damage, but when you combine it with something like the Eradicator or maybe even the Falcon, it can do some damage, especially with the large missile. And that's the reason why you want to grab this. Now, if you're new, you might not know this, you can also S-mod the built-in hull mod. In this case, I've not done it because my fleet is not complete. I still have a lot more work to do, so I'm not even sure if I want to S-mod this yet. And the reason why is because my fleet as it is right now, I can do a decent amount of survey, no problem. I'm at the minimum cost requirement for survey, which is 5 heavy machinery and 5 supplies. So I do not even need to S-mod this. Maybe I can S-mod the high resolution sensor to increase my sensor strength, but I'm not really going to bother. And that's the reason why you want to choose the Apogee. It is a great ship for exploration, and I think this ship was actually made for exploration. If you're a new player, at least have one of this ship in your fleet, or you can have 2, 3, why not? The last ship I think is a must as well for new players who are planning to explore is the Odyssey. Look at those curves, god damn. This ship is an acquired taste, and I understand that. If you're a new player and you don't know how to maneuver with this ship, you don't know how to pilot it, just throw one of your captain in there, let them do whatever they need to do. Yeah, some of them might kind of mess it up. They might just go head first into the enemy. Don't put a reckless captain in there. Put a steady or even a cautious one. Ideally steady. Don't put a cautious because then they won't really do much. It'll be a waste of a capital ship. What does the Odyssey have that's so great? Number one is the high resolution sensor on a capital ship to increase your sensor strength. We're going back again to sensor strength because we want to be able to detect things. I wish this thing had other things, but we have the ECCM package, which is great for your missiles. This has 3, actually no, it has more than 3. It has 1 large, which is a hybrid energy and missile. It has 3 medium, and it has 2 large energy, which are great for autopulsar. Most players you see are going to put autopulsar on this. Sometimes you put even a plasma cannon if you are, feeling frisky. And then you also have a bunch of turrets spot to take care of these pesky fighters from the enemy or missiles from the enemy. It can be a challenge with this ship, I understand, but the cost of maintenance of this ship is fairly low compared to other ships. The deployment cost is low, and it is a great ship. The maneuverability on the ship is just even thinking about it gets me okay, let me just keep myself together here. These are going to be the 3 main that you want to have, and then from there you can play around with what you feel like, right? You can add whatever you're more comfortable with. After that, if you want to switch, you can switch, but these ships are so great and so versatile that there is no need for that. So for the hull mod, obviously those 2 are the best one, high resolution sensor and surveying equipment, because we want to reduce the amount of machinery and the amount of supplies that are needed to do survey. You can make a decent amount of money from surveying planets. Keep in mind that surveying equipment, the hull mod, does not have a diminishing return. It actually is additive. So in my case, for example, on my Apogee, this is not built in, so I'm only getting the 20 reduction because this is a cruiser. And on my salvage rigs, I have 20, so 10 because they are destroyers, but they're built in, so now I get 20 per. So technically I have 20 here, that's 40 plus another 20 from the Apogee, that's 60. And that is the reason why it says that the reduction is 60 for supplies and 60 for machinery. But there's also makeshift equipment scale that I have, which reduces the resource required for surveying planet by another 50%. Okay, so now you have the ship composition, the hull mod, okay, I I gotta make sure my fuel overlay is proper, so you're ready to go out there and explore. Ideally, when should you be exploring? And that's a very subjective thing, but I think if you have at least a couple ships that are good for storage, fuel, and for defending yourself, then you're good. Ideally, you want at least one capital ship, a couple of cruisers, or maybe about 3 or 4 cruisers, a bunch of frigates, and a couple of destroyers. You don't need too many destroyers. Ideally, you could even have all your destroyers just being salvage rigs. It's up to you, but this is what I usually have when I'm out there and going to explore. And that is it for me today, guys. I think this is a great tip for people who want to explore in the game. If you're a beginner, it can be really hard. If you have any question, I'll be more than happy to answer these questions in the comments. So go ahead out there, explore, don't be afraid. There is so much lore and so many things in the outer sector to find. I'm pretty sure you're going to have fun. All right, and that is it for me today, guys. Don't forget to drop a like, comment if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video.